Hey guys, welcome back to Dinner and Done. So today it was raining and cold outside here in my small little town of where we live in my little part of the world. And my boys requested for me to make my spicy Asian noodle bowl. So here it is. This is my take on a spicy Asian noodle bowl, and it was good. Everybody loved it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to grab my containers out of my pantry that says Spicy Asian Noodle Bowl on the recipe. That has everything in the container that I'm going to need to make this meal besides the chicken. Okay, so I did have to pull out and defrost the chicken. That didn't take too long. It took like maybe an hour and a half for the chicken to get defrosted. And then I was ready to rock and roll with this recipe. So I'm just going to get my recipe card out and start getting everything together. So what I'm going to go ahead and do first, as I unload everything and unpackage everything, get all my seasonings in order, I'm just going to get everything organized to how it is written out on my recipe card. So everything that I'm going to need first is what I'm going to get out. And after I get done doing that, I'm going to go ahead and grab my chicken, and then the first thing I'm going to do with my chicken is dry it off, so that way all the seasonings can stick to my chicken and not, run everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and get it dried off, and then I'm going to start adding my spices. Okay, now I added chili powder, smoked paprika, Chinese five spice, and trust me, a word to the wise, because I've done this. I've done this before. I've added too much, and the Chinese five spice is very, very potent. So I'll add a fourth of a teaspoon of the Chinese five spice. Okay, and then I did onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of ginger, some sesame oil, and some soy sauce, as you see right there. And then I'm just gonna get all those spices mixed onto the chicken. Okay, and I did add some salt, but do not add a lot because we're gonna add soy sauce to our broth as well. Then we're gonna go ahead and heat up a pan. Okay, whatever pan you're using. I am using my Dutch oven for this. I do add in a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of sesame oil. I add in both oils, yes. And what I'm going to do first, because this recipe, the first time I made this recipe, I used boneless, skinless chicken breasts. No, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, I'm sorry. I've only had bone and skin on. So that's going to give me more flavor, and, I just use what I have on hand. And you could do the same as well. So we're going to let all that oil heat up, and then we're going to start adding in our chicken. And we're just gonna brown off our chicken here in a minute. We're just gonna get it all browned off, so that way it just builds up our broth with much more flavor. So here I am adding in my chicken. Now I did have four chicken legs, yes, because it was like 8 or 9. So 4 chicken legs was in this package, or chicken quarters was in this package. So once they get all brown like that right there, we're going to remove them. We're going to put them on a plate, and then we're going to go in and add in our mushrooms. Okay, so I always add in my mushrooms first, because once those start browning, they give off liquid. That's going to help me get all that fine that's off the bottom of my pot off, and it's going to add even more umami flavor into my broth. Yes, it is. And then there it is. Once they get gets that color, I take it out and I put it in a bowl, and I set it to the side, so that way I can add in my chopped up garlic and ginger. Okay, so whenever you're like sauteing up garlic and ginger, I only saute it long enough to where I start to smell the spices. Once you start to smell, garlic, you'll smell it before, and you'll be like, oh, somebody's cooking more garlic. The same thing is with ginger for me. I will start to smell it, so just kind of toss it around for a few minutes, like maybe 1 to 2 minutes max. And then after we add in after you get your garlic and your ginger all sauteed up, and then we're going to go in with the rest of the recipe. I believe it says 6 cups of chicken broth. I use 2 different kinds of chicken broth. Sorry, that's my dog's barking in the background. I'm currently in my closet trying to do this voiceover. and they still managed to make it in. So there's one of my bone broth. I use the kettle bone. I love it, or the kettle fire or something, whatever it's called. It's very good. Now this broth already has it has some ginger, garlic, and turmeric in it, I believe. You know, I'm just using what I have on hand. If you only have the powder broth, then just put in 6 cups of water, throw in the powder. That's all that you can do. I'm just trying to get the rest of this fond off the bottom of the pot. And then we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. It's going to cut through, you know, the umami. It's going to kind of tone it down a little bit. So we're going to go in with 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. And then we're going to go in with gochujang. Yes, this gives it a little bit of a kick, but not too much of a kick, if you know what I mean. You can add more or less depending to your preference. I personally added more. I did 2 teaspoons. I didn't record it, but I did go back and added some more teaspoons after I tasted it. Now, if you taste it, oh yes, and then we're gonna add in also 2 teaspoons of rice wine vinegar. Yes, rice wine vinegar. So if you try my recipe and you taste it and it seems a little flat, I usually add in a little bit of chicken broth, because the kettle and bone, although it tastes good to me, sometimes it can taste flat once, you know, if I'm doing like Asian stuff, sometimes it will taste flat where I can't even taste it. So I just add in a little bit of chicken bouillon. Now I'm just trying to get the rest of the fond off the bottom of the pot before I add my chicken back in so it can finish cooking. So here we go. I'm just adding in the chicken back into my pot. Go ahead and add it all in, and you're also going to add in the juices that collected on the bottom of your plates or whatever you set your chicken on. You're going to add those extra juices back into your pot, because baby, that right there is extra flavor. Yes, ma'am, it is. We're just building up some flavor here. So come on, let's get that. Yep, grab the plate and put the rest of the juice in there, woman. I don't know. I'm currently just holding my phone because I didn't feel like dragging out all my stuff to record. My dogs were super rowdy this day. I didn't want them to break another one, so this is what I got. So now we're just going to pop a lid on that. Now, I did let mine cook for about an hour and a half because I just wanted I wanted my chicken to just fall apart, and that's exactly what it did when I tried to pull it apart. So I'm just turning the broth down a little bit, and then there it is, all done. And then there's my broth. And then I just made noodles, and I made some jammy eggs, and there's some mushrooms. I added some green onions, and then we were good to eat, buddy. Oh, and I also added in some cabbage. Also very good. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Bye.